Here with us now is Republican Congressman from Indiana, Marlin Stutzman. Congressman, good morning. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning, Hannah. Great to be with you this morning.
My colleague at the Hill, Alex Bolton, just mentioned efforts to curb the president's tariff power. I want to start with, where do you stand on limiting the president's authority here?
I don't. I really believe that we need to give President Trump the support and the flexibility to really reset kind of the economic stage globally. As we look at these tariffs against the United States, these have been in place for many years. And, one of the things that I always tell, we know America is a very generous nation. We help people all over the world. We're the first to help with our military whenever there's a skirmish around the globe. And many nations have been taking advantage of the United States with tariffs that we've never reciprocated. And so that's why I really believe that this is an important time in our nation's history that we reset our trade policy around the world. $36 trillion of debt is going to sink our economy. And if we don't start looking out for the American economy, many are going to say, well, this is going to hurt us short term. It may, but we're seeing job growth and announcements already in Indiana in our manufacturing sector. Agriculture is going to be a little bit more difficult, but I really believe within 6 months, we're going to be on a strong path back to strong financial and economic success.
Congressman, reducing trade deficits sounds great. Bringing manufacturing back to the United States, fantastic. But as you know, farmers here in the U.S. could be greatly impacted by these tariffs. There are over 10,000 farms in your district alone. What is your message to those farmers?
Well, I'm a farmer. I come from a farm family, so I'm very aware. But the flip side is that we know that President Trump and Republicans we're going to extend the tax cuts, the Trump tax cuts, or make them permanent. Energy policy is going to be beneficial to us. Deregulation is going to be beneficial to us. So there's going to be some offsets. Is it going to be a rocky road for a couple of months here? Most likely. But at the same time, President Trump is the best negotiator. He's the strongest diplomat that America has. And the other thing is rural America voted for President Trump. Jim Carville talked about how the Democrat Party owes rural America an apology because rural America has been left behind for the last couple of decades. That is true. Our small towns, when a building goes down in downtown LaGrange, Indiana, it doesn't get rebuilt. Our towns are struggling. So a lot of faith and trust has been put into President Trump to rebuild rural America, which is good for all of America.
China buys a lot of soybean, corn, beef, chicken, and many other agricultural items from the United States. Most of these products are produced in your district. As you well know, Congressman, China is retaliating with tariffs of 34% on American products. How will this business relationship affect farmers in your region, in your district?
It will have an effect, there's no doubt. Agriculture is tough right now. Commodity prices are relatively low compared to input costs. But again, President Trump is working. I believe he truly is working for the American farmer. We've seen these tariffs around the globe against American agriculture. And there needs to be someone saying enough is enough. It's kind of like we have all these friends and allies that have tariffs against the United States, and we don't have reciprocal tariffs. It's like taking someone out for lunch, every week, and they never pick up the tab. It's time for us to have a two-way street and a strong relationship that benefits both parties. I really think that there's going to be countries, like we've already seen with Vietnam and Kosovo and others, that are going to come running to the table and say, hey, we'll do it. We'll gladly be zero tariff partners with the United States. And I think that's going to put pressure on these larger countries eventually, that they're going to lose market share, possibly.
The Trump administration is repeatedly saying this is short-term pain, but admittedly, from the president, it could likely be 2 years. Congressman, almost 10% of families in your district live below the poverty line. They're living paycheck to paycheck. Are they prepared for this tariff war to last for 2 months, let alone 2 years?
Well, Hannah, sadly, there's not a good time to do this, especially after the last 4 years of the Biden administration, where inflation has risen dramatically. The cost of living has risen dramatically. Wages have not kept up pace. But I know for my district, the fact that we have GM has announced that they're going to increase production at the GM truck plant in Fort Wayne. We have other manufacturers that are seeing an increase. Steel Dynamics is a large steel company here. They're increasing their production. Agriculture, it's going to be tough. But you know what? We're used to that. Agriculture is not an easy industry to begin with. But I believe that Trump has shown a history and has a record of supporting the American farmer. And in the long run, this is going to be better. We have to do something about our debt. You know, Ray Dalio came in a couple of weeks ago and said, if we don't do something soon, and you're talking about the budget that passed out of the Senate, we have to take this very seriously. And if we can just show that that we as Congress, that the federal government is going to take debt and deficit seriously, I think we'll see a stronger economy, which will benefit all of us here in America.
And these tariffs are happening as we are seeing federal services slashed, as you well know. What recourse will people have if they are on the economic bubble, if they're a federal employee, for example?
Well, again, you know, we know that over the last 4 years, it's the government jobs that have grown, not the private sector. Again, you know, come to Northeast Indiana, and it's been pretty flat. I'm in manufacturing as well as agriculture, and both industries haven't been booming. We've only seen government growing rather than the private sector. So it's about time that the private sector has an opportunity, and there is a lot of faith and trust being put into President Trump. But if there's anybody that can get it done, I believe he can. The risk of doing nothing is greater than the risk of trying.
Congressman Marlin Stutzman, thank you so